Hey, 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 hey. Welcome back to CoveyChase Farm. I appreciate you watching. I'm John, I'm the farmer here. Currently, I am standing on top of my cattle trailer. If you can see this. Getting ready, in the next couple of days, we'll be loading out chickens off of pasture. But I got up here, I wanted you to see, here's what these chickens do this time of the evening. It's about 7:30 at night. And these are the birds that will be going to the processor in less than 48 hours. You see my yard geese. They are not happy about me being here, even though I'm here twice a day with them. The other thing right now is I'm doubled up on birds. So this is my latest batch of Cornish Cross chickens. These are only 4 weeks old. They just came out of the brooder earlier this week. So they're on this side. I try not to double up on birds like this, so I had to put my gooseneck trailer, that's their cover out here. And as soon as I take these off, they'll be under my movable covers here that these birds have been with for the past 5 weeks. So the big birds are right here. I do have my covers. These are 8 foot by 10 foot, 2 foot high with wheels on the back. Every day they move forward one length. I move the waterers and the feeders. Really happy with these range feeders. They hold 50 pounds of feed. Waterers hold 10 gallons. There are 500 birds here, so I have 1 waterer and 1 feeder for each 100 birds, and then 1 cover, 8 by 10 foot cover for each 100 birds. It works out really well. These birds are all Cornish Cross hens. They are all hens, although you'll see there is a rooster here and there. There's a rooster right there. They're all going on 8 weeks old at this point. And if you look at them, you can see they're all still getting around really well in this environment. This batch of birds, they've done exceptional. And I do have some birds here that are pretty big. There's another rooster right there. We're going to get some weights on them out here in a second. My geese are, quite frankly, rather annoying, but they have done a tremendous job on my aerial prairies. I'm down here all the time, and you see what they're doing with me? They don't even like me being in here. With this batch of birds right here, I haven't lost any birds to a hawk. I lost 3 birds to an owl over the course of 3 evenings. And then I believe that the geese finally matured enough. They're only about 4 months old. I've raised them from being baby chicks. They got mature enough and they've ran the owl off. So I don't even have an owl problem with these big birds. These yard geese are doing their job, but they are rather loud, which is the purpose. A little bit annoying. So these birds right here are going to go into the processor starting on Monday. I'll take half of them, 250 birds, and then the other 250 will go on Wednesday. Even though these birds are all the same age, you will notice, and when I get a couple, here's a couple of smaller birds. These will probably end up being whole birds, and then any of the larger birds, here's one, there's one walking right there. The larger birds will all be parted out. I like to end up with about a 3.5 to a 4 pound whole bird. That seems to be what most people want. If I get into that 5 pound range, which is actually a great bird for a larger family, but I find that the 3.5, 4 pounds sells better. So the bigger birds I part out, so then I get the bigger breast, a split breast being about 1.4 pounds or so, a really nice big skinless breast. Then I do the thighs, I do some leg quarters, I do drumsticks, I do wings, they sell really fast. I keep everything necks, feet, carcasses, hearts, and livers. Every bit of it, almost the whole chicken. I have a market for that I can sell it. Just a little bit more walk through on these birds. Here's where they've been. So when I moved them in this little paddock, and you'll also see, I don't think I showed it, but I have electric fence. I have one wire right here. I only put up one wire yesterday because I'm going to be moving these chickens out in a couple of days. But this protects from any ground predator. Generally don't have any problems with that. And then you've already seen those guys. They protect from my aerial predators. So this is kind of my setup. I don't use chicken tractors. I believe that I could do 1,000 on here rather easily, meaning that with not much more labor than what I'm doing. I would simply add 5 more of these and I would stretch it all the way across the pasture, add more panels to the fence, 5 more waterers, 5 more feeders, and then continue to move forward that way across this field. You see these birds, they're really doing good. They look great. They're really healthy. They've had no vaccines, no medications, no antibiotics, water, feed, sunshine. Hey. Fresh air. I think those are the most important things. You see them, they're eating leaves, like there's 2, pulling leaves off. You see a lot of them foraging around. Now, people say these Cornish Cross, and these are the jumbo Cornish Cross, won't do this. Give them the right environment, they absolutely will do it. You see my little chicks over there, I call them chicks, they're 4 weeks old. They're just smaller. You see what they're doing. Some of them can still get through this fence, so they're out in the field. When I pulled up, they were out here. But they're doing well. Now this group right here, they're all roosters. To be quite frank with you, I feel I have had better luck with these hens. They just seem to, I think very similar to people, they seem to mature a little earlier, so they put on feathers faster than what the males do, which allows them to be a little hardier when they get out here on the pasture and you get a rain and, you know, maybe a 45-degree evening. That bird right there is eating a lot of grass. Okay, got away from those geese, a little quiet. I got 3 different chickens right here. If you look at them, what I purposely tried to get, even though I bought all hens, there are occasionally a rooster in there, so I do have a rooster right here. I have a pretty good sized hen and then a smaller hen. We get weight on those, take a look at them and see how they're doing. Again, they're about 7.5 weeks old right now. On Tuesday, this is Saturday, on Tuesday they'll be 8 weeks. Right here's the rooster. He looks really good. Try to get him here in this bucket. Try to do this with one hand. So right here's gonna be my scale. I'm gonna throw him in this bucket right here. Alright, so I've got him in the bucket. He is pushing 8 pounds. Almost an 8-pound bird. He will definitely be a parted out bird. That would give me about a almost 5.5 to a 6-pound whole bird. Way too big for anything that anybody around here wants to buy, but it'll be a perfect for a parted out bird. Now we get this little smaller head. Got her in the bucket. She'll quit moving. She's gonna be 4.8 pounds. Probably gonna be 5.3 or so by the time we get to the processor. I hope needs to get a little bigger. But that'll be a great size right there for a whole bird. Probably be a whole bird around 3.25, 3.5 pounds. That'll be right in my wheelhouse. It seems like that's what I'm selling a lot of. So I need some of those for sure. Last bird, this bigger hen. So she's 6.8 pounds, less than that rooster, but still gonna be a pretty good size hen right here. Again, she'll probably be pushing 7.5 pounds. She'll be a parted out bird for sure. So that's my second batch of Cornish Cross for this year. I think that second batch always does really good. You're not in the cold weather, you're not starting out in the cold. That's always tough because when you put them on pasture, they're in the cold rain. You're not in the very heat of the summer yet. My dark geese are doing a superb job right now. I hope this keeps up. Owls is what I started worrying about. They have definitely kept the hawks away. I did have the owl come in. However, it has now left on its own. I think that's because these geese are getting more and more mature. And they're not even mature yet. They're not even got the big honk going on. They're starting to get more aggressive. Again, it's a bit annoying, but when they're saving these chickens the way that they're doing, it's pretty good. Anyway, that's what we got going on the farm. As always, I appreciate the support. You can find out more about us at CoveyChaseFarm.com. Everyone have a great week.